This is for swimmers who are totally blind. They have no vision. They will be assisted at the turns and at the finish by the use of tappers. You see the tappers there with the tapping stick coming on with the swimmers, escorting the swimmers onto the pool deck. Favourites in the centre. Well, it's a Spanish swimmer, Israel Oliver, with the fastest entry time for this final. Colombians, they've had a good championship so far. And another Colombian in the final there, Urbano Herrera in lane 1. Tharon Drake from the USA in lane number 2. Dmytro Zalevskyy from Ukraine in lane number 3. Israel Oliver from Spain in lane 4. Matheus Sousa from Brazil in lane 5. You'll notice the blacked out goggles that all these swimmers are wearing. Hendri Herbst, bronze medalist yesterday in the 50 freestyle, and Sergio Zayas from Argentina is in lane number 7, the final swimmer. The swimmers, as I said, all wearing those blacked out goggles. World record has stood for 21 years. John Morgan from the USA set that mark, 4 minutes 20.83. Unlikely that that is going to be challenged tonight. But it's a great skill for these swimmers with no vision at all. They really must be able to get off the block straight. You don't want to veer into the lane ropes, or sometimes under the lane ropes, as we saw in one of the events last night. But the swimmer actually ended up in the wrong lane, but getting the dive a little bit at a wrong angle, and ended up under the lane rope and into the other lane. So let's hope that is not going to happen tonight.
Just looking at the competitors there behind the starting blocks, Zayas' swim cap couldn't be fitted any tighter. Sucked across his head, and if you look at the cap of Sousa, he's rather like an outer space monster. Ridges all over it, carefully grooved with an integrated goggle throughout his cap, pulled right down across his forehead. There he is. Whereas some other swimmers wearing more of a traditional standard cap, silicone cap that's perhaps not moulded in the rather 21st century style of Sousa. But there's Zayas, couldn't get tighter than that. You don't want to wear it for too long.
Well, you've got to make sure that these goggles don't come off, because if they do come off, there is the risk of disqualification, because the swimmers have to wear those blacked out goggles. It makes the competition fair. Some of the swimmers have light perception. They may be able to see very, very short distances, and if they can see the bottom of the pool, for example, or even an outline of that, it will give them something to follow. So they said it gave the swimmers an advantage. So no matter what kind of vision you have, very little vision or no vision at all, wear blacked out goggles, and that makes everything fair and above board. And if the goggles come off, could be considered it's been done deliberately. Put your goggles on a little bit looser, they come off, oh, it's not my fault. But actually the officials will say, well, it's your responsibility to make sure your goggles are on tight. But yeah,
Sousa's
right.
goggles will not come off. They're fully knitted and integrated into his 21st century Dalek-like go faster race swim cap. But this S11 category, as you explained so articulately well and clear there, Paul, they will exit the pool, and before any official result is announced, it doesn't matter what the scoreboard says, every single individual would have those blacked out goggles checked as soon as they step out of the competition pool. And then after the 8th swimmer has been checked, the results, the final results, official results, will be posted. Does seem to be rather a delay here. We're not sure why, and swimmers getting wrapped up again as the evening draws in, taken to their chairs, staying focused, staying warm. Very important that the muscles are, in fact, a little warmer than body temperature. The muscles have maximum power output at 38 degrees. That's just marginally higher than your normal body temperature. Well, it doesn't take much guessing that all the muscles across these competitors now will be a little cool. Certainly dipping down below actual body temperature. The biggest muscles in the body, the quads, the upper legs, the most powerful muscles need to be kept warm. Looking across the pool there, there's only one competitor that seems to be covering his legs. Others, yes, they have upper tops covering their shoulders, but to get off these blocks quickly, the legs, the quads, the upper muscles. There we go. Swimmer in lane number 3, Zalevskyy. Dmytro Zalevskyy of the Ukraine, very professional in his thinking.
It's Drake of the USA. Gaining his focus there, just thinking to himself.
I mean, the swimsuits that these competitors are wearing, they're so tight, they're so thin. If you haven't shaved down, and many swimmers do shave the body hair, the hairs actually protrude through the swimsuit, so the suits themselves won't keep these swimmers warm. They need to be wrapped up.
Oh, someone's gone into the pool, so there must be something, there may be something that was in the pool and it's now been fished out. Maybe someone's pair of goggles, I think, possibly, that's come off from the previous race.
A shark. They put sharks in the pool this time of night, Paul. Makes you swim faster. I'll get you going if you're cold.
But these guys with no vision, they wouldn't see the sharks anyway. It wouldn't bother them.
They may sense it.
Well, whatever it was has been fished out now. It was one of the Australian swimmers went in for it. So I think we can maybe get underway. We shall see. The officials not really making any move to get this started at the moment.
It's the penultimate individual event tonight. We'll be concluding with 2 relay events. The first relays of the week will be in front of us in just a moment.
Ah, there's something. Now, it could have been a swimming cap, possibly. It's just being fished out of lane 4 there. Someone's cap, yeah. So I think we can now get underway. We see the officials moving across. The swimmers just getting themselves ready there. There's the South African, Hendri Herbst. So, is that going to affect things? Let's hope not. Could be quite a close one, this one. Israel Oliver from Spain in lane 4 is the fastest into this final, 4:48.86. And Sousa from Brazil, second fastest, 4:51.70. Let's see how this race pans out. World record, as we said, stands at 4 minutes 20.83, held by John Morgan of the USA, and that stood since 1992. That is unlikely to be challenged, but a great opportunity for some of these swimmers to get on the medal podium at a global event. I don't think we have any medalists in this 400 freestyle at a global event before. Sousa first out on the first 50. Hendri Herbst looking for his second medal of the week from South Africa in lane number 6 in second position.
Zalevskyy down in 4th at the moment. Not really performing as I would have expected down the first 40 metres, but seems to have found his speed now, pacing himself off the ankles of these 2 men in the lead. Lanes 4 and 5 respectively, Oliver and Sousa. Not a good turn there by Sousa at all. Lost a lot of ground. So in lane 4, Israel Oliver of Spain taking some advantage, getting a long way away from his nearest rival. gliding up, slithering up, staying close to that lane rope, helps him feel his way down the lane, of course, as a guide. Doesn't want to crash into it though. If he's too tight, it will slow him down. Moving across to his breathing side, so once again feeling the lane line, making sure he's keeping a straight line down the lane rather than trying to say centre of the lane, where other swimmers would wish to swim in other classes. He's actually looping. He'll swim down one side of the lane, then back down the other side, so to his breathing side where he's most comfortable, be feeling his way so he can stay as straight as he can down the lane. He'll lose a little time as he cuts across to the other side, but in the end it's much better tactics doing that than trying to stay centre, where you may end up zigzagging left and right down every length and end up swimming not 400 metres but perhaps 407 metres.
He is certainly on the right-hand side of the lane, Israel Oliver, with maybe about a second advantage over Matheus Sousa from Brazil. Both on the right-hand side of the lane. Be interesting to see where they go when they come out of this turn. There's the tapper. Very important job for the tappers there. We just missed the turn, but we see Zalevskyy going over in third position, some 4 seconds behind the leading two. And just at the right-hand side of the lane, Israel Oliver. And right next to him, Matheus Sousa on the left-hand side of the lane. He'll probably be able to feel the Spanish swimmer right next to him, just feel the waves of that. He won't be able to see him. Maybe he's just a little bit too far down to feel the waves of Israel Oliver now as he drops back more than a body length behind the Spanish swimmer. We've got 100 to go in the men's S11, 400 metres freestyle. And another good turn for Israel Oliver of Spain. And he is coming through now on his last 100. Looking like it's going to be a gold medal for the Spanish team, unless Matheus Sousa from Brazil can pull back something in this closing 100. Dmytro Zalevskyy of Ukraine in third position, 3:39.63. He looks like to have that bronze medal position sewn up. And it looks like it's going to be gold to Spain as he comes into the last 50. Israel Oliver for Spain over for his last turn, safely over, chased by Sousa, but there's 2.5 seconds to make up for the Brazilian.
Yes, this position won't change now. Israel Oliver in the lead by 2 full body lengths. Sousa in a strong second. Zalevskyy in third for the Ukraine. So it's Spain coming home for gold. Israel Oliver, he posted 4:48.86 to qualify fastest. He is the fastest. He is going to take a gold medal this evening for himself and for Spain from lane 4. Israel Oliver stops the clock, 4:48.17. Second goes to Sousa of Brazil. 4:50.46 for Sousa. Dmytro Zalevskyy in third, 4:52.72 for bronze. Fourth going to Drake of the USA in lane number 2. Fifth to Herbst, Hendri Herbst from South Africa in lane 6. There's the champion. Israel Oliver diving in very nicely from lane 4. Still underwater and popping up there, taking a breath though on that breakout stroke. He did go a long way, perhaps too far, needed some oxygen. But it is all about a breakout distance. There's the tappers, allowing the swimmers to understand their one arm stroke or even one full stroke, which is a left arm and a right arm stroke, taking them down then into a regular tumble turn, a tight tuck. You need to keep those legs tight because you're close and tight on the wall. You don't want those legs flying high and whacking the top of the electronic timing pads. And there's the tapper once again on the finish. One arm stroke away. Ooh, 2 quick arm strokes of Sousa. Wasn't sure there. Could have leaned into a long lunge. And that was a nice finish there. for Oliver. You can't be bang on the button any better than that. And Sousa, with his Go Fast swim cap, has to settle for silver. So there's the official results. Oliver, Sousa, Zalevskyy.